morning. This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. For TV5's David Denoyer, I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Time for the Lincoln Community Center Report, and with me, I have Shane Carter. Good morning.
Good morning, Clint. How you doing this morning?
Absolutely wonderful. Glad to have you here.
Yes, sir.
You've got quite a few things that are going to be going on, and a busy month ahead. It's Black History Month.
Yes, we're preparing to celebrate Black History Month at the center, so we've really reached out to a lot of different organizations and churches and choirs and participants that are going to be coming. First, we're going to start it off Friday, February 6th at 6:30, and this is an event that's open to anybody in the public. And we have a jazz band coming up from Dayton and Cincinnati. Two of the musicians actually perform with the Ohio Players, and then we have Antoine Walker, and he was involved with Zapp and Roger Troutman in their band when they were living. So
yeah,
got a good slate of music coming, and I'd love for everybody to come out. What it is also people are bringing in, you don't have to, it's not mandatory, but a covered dish of some sort if you want to participate in kind of the carry-in thing, and just be a night of fellowship, some music, food, and we'll finish up probably around 8:30.
Okay.
Next, on Thursday, February the 12th, and these are the first two I wanted to highlight just because they're coming up pretty soon, is we're spotlighting the future, and we're really focusing on that night at 6:30 on our youth presenters. We've got a lot of young kids that have done research on patriarchs from the past, so they're going to do a little spoken word, do a little reenactment, and should be a nice evening. That'll start at 6:30, and really looking forward to getting some of the public out. I know some city council folks are going to come out, Mayor Beamish, and really just show the kids that it's important the things they're doing and that they have the support of the community. So as far as for February, Clint, those two are the first ones coming up, and then on Sunday, February 15th at 4 p.m., try to give people time to get out of church on that Sunday. Diane Coble, who's a native of Troy, and we had spoke before the show about Trojans coming back to Troy, which is always neat. She's been gone for 4 or 5 years, grew up here in the Lincoln Center, and she's got a group of young ladies and a couple men that they get together from different churches in the Dayton area, and they perform. So we got them down here this year, and we're really excited about that.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
So you do have a full.
It's going to be a fun-filled, busy February. Yes, sir.
Fun-filled February.
Yes.
Now, something else that you have. Now, is this new? You're serving up?
This is new. It is new, and it's something that really what happened was Janine Sadler and Luke Oakes, who I'll say this is an amazing, this young man's a senior at Troy High School. He achieved academically, but also I just found this out, he was a state qualifier in tennis this year. Now, with doing all that and getting ready for college, he wants to come and give back to the community, which I think is really neat. And Luke came and approached me and said that him and some other tennis players from Troy would like to start the program at the center. It had, in the past, been at Kyle, and it was at Forest Elementary. But he was really excited about bringing it to the Lincoln Center. So we're going to start next Wednesday, the 28th. Any parents that are listening, this is for any kids really about 3rd or 4th grade and up. We want to make sure that kids are able to, listen and hold their attention and swing a racket. Now, obviously, I won't be instructing. I have no clue. I'm going to be a participant in the class. So I'm looking forward to improving my tennis game. And then any of my buddies that are out there listening, we play in the summer. I'm going to be ready to beat them, Clint. So I'm going to work on my game.
You're going to be practiced up by the time you can get out.
When it gets warm, I'll be at the Troy Park, and I'm playing that. Hopefully, I'll be ready to play.
Well, you don't want to spread that news because
it's a secret. But
you want to just be able to surprise them with that.
Absolutely. But for the parents and kids, on a serious note,
right,
it's a really neat opportunity. Tennis can be an expensive sport. It can be a sport that, depending on where you're at in the year, if you don't have an indoor facility or a place to go, we want to thank Luke Oakes for bringing that to us and Janine Sadler. And then also, as Luke has shared with me, that the Schroeder Tennis Center out in Tip City, they're going to be helping out in terms of providing nets and things until we can get our own stuff. So any parents come down to the Lincoln Center, 110 Ash Street, or contact us at 937-335-2715. Get your kids signed up. Also, any questions you want to ask, there is a basic kind of program flyer that I can send out and I'll put on our Facebook. And that will allow for the parents to ask any questions. Maybe what I'll do too, I'll share that, Clint, on your guys' page.
Absolutely, share it to us, and we'll post it back up. And
yeah, that way any parents that because this is a neat opportunity. I mean, really, if you've got a kid, if you think about it, how expensive tennis lessons can be. I have no clue, but I'm sure they're expensive. And if you have a beginner or somebody who wants to get involved, I mean, come down to the center on a Wednesday or Friday. We'll go from about 4 to a little after 5 o'clock. And as it gets warmer, we'll probably even go outside. So
I have no doubt that this is going to be another successful program, the way your programs have been filling up over at the center now.
I think it's going to be exciting. I think a lot of the kids that don't like maybe basketball or another sport, maybe tennis, will be something they can tap into. So.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Something coming up beyond February.
Yes.
And that would be Easter.
Yes, and actually we had to get that on the calendar. Easter's a little early this year. We have our Easter egg hunt, which is an annual tradition we've been doing for at least 50, 60 years. very thankful. The Troy Rotary Club has been a huge supporter of this over the past 2 years, and heading that up have been a lot of people. Patrick Titterington with the city, Carol Bayer, just really the whole group of Rotarians have been really supportive. And this year it's going to be Saturday, April the 4th at 1 p.m. We'll make sure we get that in the newspaper for everybody, but want to promote that over the next couple weeks. And as you know, that's for anybody. A kid that's can barely walk and just wants to run and go find eggs, we've got a little section on the playground for them. The older kids that want to run crazy and compete for eggs, we've got a section for them. And then parents, obviously, we've got we always want parents to come, but the Easter Bunny will be out for pictures and all that stuff. So once again, mark your calendar, Saturday, April the 4th at 1 p.m. at the Lincoln Community Center.
Some of my best childhood memories are Easter egg hunting as a little kid.
Me too.
And those memories.
Me
So
too.
yeah, it's great you have that over there.
Yes, sir.
As many things
Yes, sir.
as what goes on at the center, like you're adding the tennis, pickleball, swimming, your basketball.
Yes.
After school programs, you're needing to expand a little bit with space.
Busting at the seams, literally.
And you were mentioning to me just before we started
Uh-huh.
about some expansion.
Yes. So we started planning and talking about this in 2012, and what happened was, with anything else, the board they wanted to see, from our standpoint, financial stability, which we were able to show over these past 2 years. Then they also wanted to see, from a standpoint of buy-in, if we had stakeholders in the community that would be willing to support a project. Once we start a strategic plan that says, okay, we need X amount of dollars, and these are the needs we need in terms of the facility. And what we came across, I've been able to meet with 2 architects, both of them which are good people and have worked with us. One, Patrick Hansford, who's a native of Troy, and the other one, Mike Twiss, who also is a native of Troy. And we're thankful both of their firms have put together some pricing for us in terms of surveying the land, doing some, really boring of the soil in the back. We've got 2 acres back there that really we want to make sure is adequate in terms of, something that realistically can be built on and doesn't have issues. And then just being able to, part of this first step, or it's called phase 1, is kind of identifying where the utilities are, obviously where the storm drains, those type of things, because this land was donated by John Spencer back in the 1950s. And to give you a little history on the 2 acres behind us, Clint, it was used in the past kind of as a dump or a landfill in terms of sediment, rock, stuff like that. So to making sure that that's a solid place, and also staying within our bylaws and confines of operating there at 110 Ash Street is really important. It's important because when John Spencer and his wife established our trust fund, their trust was to service the Lincoln Community Center at our physical address. So we would never look to relocate or anything like that. But
No.
What we're doing is we have a board meeting coming up this Monday, which is the 26th. And we've established within our board a few people that are going to serve on this committee. And we will, throughout the year, start doing not only the necessary steps in getting the land surveyed, a topography survey, being able to identify where the utilities are. And there's about 10 different things in this first phase. And it's an expensive process, but I think the return on our investment is we're going to need to spend somewhere around $4,000 to get all of our preliminary things done. And then at that time, we can sit down and discuss as a board, discuss with the stakeholders, the city, the Parks Department, those type of things of what exactly is the Lincoln Community Center, what do we need? And I think as I've been the leader of the center, I know and understand that we lack parking. We have 7 parking spaces. Right now, this morning, there's probably 30 people in the building. Those 30 people happen to be seniors, so they're parking somewhere on Ash Street and walking kind of a trek. As it gets darker earlier in the evenings, it creates some, in my mind, some inadequacies. Not only inadequacies, but it creates some obstacles and roadblocks that we really shouldn't have. I think if we have the possibility to not only provide a better facility, that we should, but I believe that with our momentum and where we're at right now, that it's really important that we kind of seize that moment. So what we'll be doing, I'll be updating you guys weekly, is Monday I'm hoping that the board moves forward with this action and that we can move forward with phase 1, which will consist of, really when he gets done with that, the architect will actually have an idea of not only what we can do on that land, but an actual schematic design of some of the things we need. And what we need is, we need a conference room to be able to meet and have different things in terms of whether if it's board meetings, whether if it's a simple sitting down and doing some discussion as a staff. We also need the ability to offer things like we have in the past, yoga and Zumba, but not using only the gym. A lot of places you go into, whether if it's like the new flooring in the rec or at the Y, got a nice rubber flooring, you can disinfect, you can spray down and clean. And then also it's really, really key, I think, that we start looking into having adequate space for overflow or for per se like kind of a lounge area. Reason being the setup and flow of our building, when you walk in, it's like, okay, here's this shotgun hallway, either you're going to the gym or to the office. Well, on Saturdays we have 300 or 400 people in there. Not only is it a fire hazard in my mind, but also it's basketball's going on Saturday.
Yeah.
So grandma comes, aunts come, brother and sister come. You got 80 kids. You take 80 kids and say everybody brings 2 people. That's 160. Everybody brings 4 people. We're at 320.
Right.
So we've got a lot of people on Saturdays in there. And my job as the director and the successes we've had, I think, is to be able to optimize our growth. I think anytime you have a growth segment and you have lack of capacity, that hinders your success. So I'm excited about it. I know Andrew Johnson, our board president, we're going to be sitting down and doing some talking here this evening, and we're going to really try to direct this into the right path. So definitely pray for us, and anybody that's interested, I will say, Clint on the air, in getting on board in terms of helping us with the understanding and planning that has maybe any experience in per se commercial projects and or in assisting with fundraising endeavors, definitely reach out to me, reach out to our board of directors. We're always looking for to add quality people.
And it would be nice if folks not only donating their time, if they could donate in to help see this project through to the end.
Definitely, and I think everybody offers different skill sets, and in those skill sets, it's important that you understand that sometimes it has nothing to do with monetary donations. It's, hey, I'm an accountant and I can come over and help manage the budget, or per se I'm an engineer and I'd like to sit down and understand your guys' mechanical system. So things like that are really, really helpful. So we're excited about that, and I'll make sure weekly that we keep you guys updated on that.
Excellent. Speaking of donations and the busy month you've got ahead of you,
yes, sir.
What are you looking for as far as what would help you out the most?
I would say moving forward, with January wrapping up here, Clint, obviously we're planning for the Soul Food event. We're planning for some Black History Month events. What would help us the most in the month of February would be any type of paper plate, napkins, cups, those type of donations. We're expecting a huge crowd for some of these events. Those are things we have to budget for. Usually, I'll be honest with you, I try to be as fiscally responsible as I can. So usually I wait till the day before to go buy, do an inventory, and hey, we've got 120 cups, we're expecting 200, let's go buy a couple hundred. That's important because, number one, you don't want to be wasteful, and I have to do my due diligence. The money that comes into the center, it needs to be used for the not only the purpose of the center, but we need to prioritize what's most important.
Right.
So those donations, a couple hundred cups, a couple hundred plates, even just a 50 paper plates, those things help tremendously. And then when you get done feeding and hosting and fellowshipping, you got to clean. So we could always use some cleaning products, Pine Sol, Windex, you name it. Those are the things really that we would probably be in need of, and I'd be grateful for any of those.
Some of the basic things that you would keep around the house for cleaning or picnic.
Absolutely.
Bring them over. It certainly would help out the Lincoln Community Center.
Yes, sir.
And people can also donate their time to help out.
Yes.
Tell us how that works.
And this is a good time to talk about it. With all the events in February, anybody that wanted to come and maybe volunteer their time, help and serve, help and organize, come down to the main office, fill out a volunteer form. We do a basic background check over here at the Miami County Sheriff's Department. We have to do that. It's just good policies for our children. And then what it'll allow for is that, Clint, if somebody wants to say, we had a guy that came in yesterday from UTC Aerospace. He's an engineer. Well, he wanted to help kids with math tutoring. So we kind of plug them in, give them a calendar. Hey, when would you like to come? And it's really, really basic in terms of being able to do what you want to do. So in other words, you don't come volunteer and I say, all right, go clean the toilet. No, we don't do that.
Right.
You come volunteer and you say, well, Shane, I'm interested in this. And may let you observe a little bit, get a good feel for what's going on. And maybe you might say, you know what, this isn't something for me. Or you may say, hey, I love it. I want to come back. So contact myself in the main office at 937-335-2715, or Nicole Burton, who really manages everything for us. She can also take that call and direct you in the right path.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, sir.
You had pointed out that you've got a special thanks that you wanted to put out.
I do. Well, I want to thank the Troy Rotary Club, Clint. We had a meeting there last Tuesday and discussed with them kind of our future plans and where we're going moving forward to the center. And I brought to their attention that we had some DeskJet printers that were donated. We've been using and replacing cartridges, and they're just not that efficient. You print after 2 weeks and you look at the ink cartridges and there's like 10% left, which is terrible because we have kids printing all day. And working with Patrick Titterington and working with the Rotary Club, they brought to our attention some more efficient Brothers printers, just real simple, only black ink, so we don't have to worry about color. And man, it's made my life so much easier. So I just want to thank the Rotary Club. It has nothing to do with me, but the children, they need that. Technology is key in education nowadays. So
well, the whole center is key to the children.
It is. So I want to thank them for that. And then obviously, Clint, thank you and thank Dave, because this is an important show. I look forward to it every week, but also I know that we're reaching some people through this, and it's really fun for me. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Shane.
Yes, sir.
And glad to hear, once again, everything's moving
the best
straight ahead.
Yes,
straight ahead. All right. Thank you so much. This has been the Lincoln Community Center Report with Shane Carter. For TV5's David Denoyer, I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.